On our Democracy 2012 coverage, our Ask the Candidate series turns to the race for Missouri's 5th Congressional District. Tonight we hear from Republican Jacob Turk. Why should voters elect you?
Well, this November is the turning point election of our lifetime. Do we determine our future, or does the government? Do we create opportunity, or does government steal it? Do we stand on the Constitution as intended to protect our liberties and our freedoms? Or do we turn to public opinion and to foreign lands for our laws and regulations? It is all on the line in 2012. There could not be more different visions for the future of America than between Emanuel Cleaver and me. He's been in politics for over 30 years. His solution is always more and more government and less freedom for us. I've lived my life outside of politics. I find the wisdom for the answers to the problems that vex this country in all of us, in we the people. And I'll be an advocate for that voice in Washington, D.C. We need less nonsense and more common sense in the halls of Congress. What we need now in Washington, D.C. is leadership and not politics.
What is your plan to improve the economy?
As a successful small business owner for over 12 years, I understand what it takes to create jobs in this economy. We have wrong-headed policies right now. We have an advocate for big business in Cleaver with handouts and bailouts for the largest corporations and banks in the world. I favor solutions that give small businesses an even playing field and an even chance. You know, the mom and pop shops are the ones that create over 60% of the new jobs in this economy, and we need policy that reflects such. We all want a clean environment and a safe workplace, but the EPA and OSHA have gone from common sense regulation to being an enemy of small business. I'll be a champion for them with the bureaucracy, getting the bureaucrats to understand that small business isn't the enemy. They're the ones that are going to create the jobs that will get us out of this economic tailspin that we're in right now. We also need to get our fiscal house in order. As the Bible says, the rich rule the poor, so the borrower is servant to the lender. We're becoming a servant to China with trillions of dollars in debt. It is immoral to put this debt on our children and our grandchildren, expecting them to repay this money for us without a controlled spending. I will advocate for us to do as millions of American households have to do every day, and that means that we spend less than we earn with the government, and we buy down this debt so that we don't leave our children and grandchildren with less opportunity than we have. So I'll be an advocate for the small business owner so they can create jobs. And I'll be an advocate to make sure that we balance this budget and we reduce our debt so we have a future of opportunity in this country for our children and our grandchildren.
What can the U.S. do in the Middle East?
Well, as a Marine veteran, first of all, I was appalled that our young Marines were not allowed to have ammunition to protect our embassy. And also as a Marine veteran, I think it's unconscionable the rate of suicide that we have in our military and our recent veterans. I will be an advocate for those military families, for our veteran families, and for the veterans and military themselves. It is unconscionable to keep sending men and women over and over and over to war zones. We cannot be the world's policemen. We must have an American first military. And when it comes to the Middle East, I believe in peace through strength. We must first make sure that we do not have our energy needs supplied by Middle Eastern oil. We have to be able to make our national security decisions based on what's best for our country, not if we have gasoline in our cars. So I advocate to drill first, drill now, right here in this country, so we have our domestic energy resources. And then when it comes to the Middle East itself, everyone needs to respect Israel's right to exist. And we must understand that nuclear proliferation does nobody good. So as a Marine veteran, I'll advocate for our military, our veterans and their families, and I'll promote peace through strength, through a strong military that's an American first military.
Tomorrow night we'll hear from Jacob Turk's opponent, incumbent Emanuel Cleaver.